played really well last night, got 5 kills, a block. She hit over 500 as well. It was really good to see the senior Rose Chris have herself a good night last night.
I remember when she was a rookie. We were in Finneran Pavilion in the basketball arena when Stanford was here. That's right, when Stanford had all those rookies with Cammie Minor, and Rose Chris had a heck of a freshman season.
Jake Nevin Fieldhouse, Villanova, and UConn coming up in the regular season finale right after this. It's one final tune-up for the Big East tournament tonight as Villanova and UConn square off in the regular season finale at Jake Nevin Fieldhouse. The Huskies clinched themselves a trip to Omaha last weekend, and after a dominant win over St. John's last night, they'll look to finish the weekend strong. And the Wildcats are also heading to the Big East tournament thanks to a strong sweep over Providence last night and Xavier's loss as well to Marquette on Friday. Hello and welcome into the broadcast booth. My name is Jake Starr. He is Nick Montaigne, and we appreciate you spending tonight's season finale with us. Well, Nick, Villanova for the second straight year, they're back in the Big East tournament. UConn's also heading to Nebraska next week, so really tonight it's just one final tune-up because you want to head to the postseason on a high note.
Villanova has a new look roster for this year, and what a breakthrough it's been with all the rookies. UConn's the most improved team this year after a bit of a down season when they had to replace a lot of their big names. Both teams are having excellent seasons. Both served and passed in wonderful form last night in their respective wins. So the fundamentals are always there with both of these programs.
Of course, there still is some seeding potentially on the line through the duration of this weekend. Let's take a look at our Big East standings and kind of where we stand heading into tonight's matchup. You see Villanova, they're sitting at 6 right now. They're in a tie with St. John's, who had Providence earlier this afternoon, and then UConn and DePaul kind of in a jockeying for that 3-4 spot. But, Nick, there's a chance that tonight's matchup could very well be a preview of what happens next week in Omaha, too.
Let's assume that DePaul loses to Marquette tomorrow, as the Blue Demons lost to Creighton last night, did take a set from the Blue Jays, a little bit banged up are the Demons right now. If Villanova wins tonight, they could be the 5 seed and avoid UConn in the quarterfinals next weekend in Omaha. But there is a good chance that if UConn wins, we could see a rematch of UConn-Villanova in the first round next week.
And that UConn team, they won a couple in a row. They're coming off a win at St. John's last night. They also had a sweep. They served really well against the Red Storm, and the Huskies are going to look to continue that tonight.
Doa, Kutlu, their centers, the most improved player in the league. I know the Villanova coaches agree with that sentiment. I love what Ellen Herman Kimball has done with UConn the last handful of years. She's taken them to the postseason regularly. Anybody's going to struggle when you replace the Kelly Parkers of the world, which they did last year, but they've had a bounce-back season. They always are organized. We see plenty of teams that are undisciplined. Not the case. When Ellen's coaching a team, you know they're going to be crisp and consistent every single match.
And for her, it's Emma Workmeister, who's just played it really, really well this year. 12 kills last night against St. John's. Missed some time with injury, but she's played really well since coming back.
And they're happy to have her back. She is a super talented player. She is one of the most skilled players that UConn's ever had. She's one of the best players in the conference. Only 5'11", but she plays way bigger than that. She has a monster arm, number one. Her jump serve is arguably the best in the conference. Physical kid at the net, and she's much improved from last year. and didn't play against Villanova earlier, but the Huskies still beat the Wildcats the first time around.
And that Villanova team, they're led by Josh Steinbach, who I'm sure was all smiles last night. His team clinched themselves a spot in the Big East tournament thanks to a 3-0 win over Providence last night, where really everything went well for the Wildcats against the Friars.
The Wildcats passed well, and Providence did not, and Villanova took care of business rather easily. So there is a chance that Villanova could play St. John's in the first round, as we said just a second ago, in the Big East tournament next weekend. But chances are you could see this matchup again. And Josh is so proud of his rookies. And here on senior night, they'll celebrate the veterans as well.
And one of those veterans who's missed some time with injury after a good start to her career, hasn't played a ton this year. That's Rose Chris. Played really well last night, got 5 kills, a block. She hit over 500 as well. It was really good to see the senior Rose Chris have herself a good night last night.
I remember when she was a rookie, we were in Finneran Pavilion in the basketball arena when Stanford was here. That's right, when Stanford had all those rookies with Cammie Minor, and Rose Chris had a heck of a freshman season, led the team in kills in 2022, then had some injury issues last year, missed the spring as we talked about on the telecast last night, and she's bounced back this fall. She's gotten her strength back, and she's played better in practice, according to Josh, and it was good to see her out there last night.
So for one final time in 2024, it's volleyball inside Jake Nevin Fieldhouse. Villanova and UConn coming up in the regular season finale right after this.
In moments of vulnerability, it's only human to seek warmth and expertise. Mainline Health is the place where both your health and humanity matter, where ultrasounds come with understanding, where tests are met with tenderness. Where EKGs are as important as empathy. The place where you will never be your only advocate. The place for a lifetime of care delivered neighbor to neighbor. Mainline Health, where human care has a home.
Home is for making dreams come true, for making memories that will last, for forging lifelong friendships, for watching your loved ones grow. The time is now to find the freedom that comes with pre-qualifying for a new home, or refinance in minutes and unlock the freedom to do the exciting things you've always wanted to do. Whichever path you choose, you can achieve your goals and celebrate the freedom of home ownership with Freedom Mortgage. Start making your dreams a reality at freedommortgage.com/dreams.
Back from Jake Nevin Fieldhouse, Jake Starr, Nick Montaigne. We're a couple of minutes shy of first serve in the regular season finale between Villanova and UConn. We just had the senior day ceremony down on the floor. We'll hit more on that and also the success of this Villanova senior class coming up here in a little bit. But first, as they're about to introduce the starting lineups down on the floor, we will take a look at the starting lineups as well. We'll start with the UConn Huskies. Obviously, we talked about Emma Workmeister, but Nick, Doa Kutlu, the native of Turkey, she's going to be someone who's really important in the middle, and she has just been so good this year.
She's having a dominant year as the setter for UConn. Who's going to be the Big East Freshman of the Year? Is it one of the many talented rookies for the Wildcats? Or is it the libero, McKenna Brand, who's an awesome passer out of the back, is having a banner rookie year? I think she might be the odds-on favorite. Plus Lauren Wynn is another excellent rookie that Ellen likes to sprinkle in. Has been playing well, a good blocker. It's a good veteran lineup all of a sudden. And the addition of Hanna Tilska, the transfer, big physical player at the net with a big arm. Very talented group.
Take a look at the Wildcats starting lineup tonight, led, of course, by head coach Josh Steinbach. A lot of pretty familiar faces in that lineup. It's Alyssa Nelson, Nick, in the middle. One of those freshmen who are going to be competing probably for Big East Freshman of the Year. 20 more assists last night. She's been so rock solid in the middle for the Wildcats.
Both of Villanova's new setters are having awesome years, as we've chronicled all year long, running a 6'2", with Taylor Jacobowski, the Seton Hall transfer, and Alyssa Nelson, the rookie out of St. Louis. To me, has been awesome. She would get my vote for Big East Freshman of the Year, but Kat Young and Campbell McKinnon having awesome seasons, and you have a star in Abby Harrell.
Well, we're about ready to roll here. The regular season finale. It's two teams that are both in to the Big East tournament. Villanova just awaiting the results of that St. John's Providence game. And, of course, also with how tonight goes to see whether they will be the 5 seed or the 6 seed when they head to Omaha next week. And very well, tonight's match could be a preview of that 3-6 or 4-5 showdown next week in Nebraska.
What I like about tonight, football beat Delaware earlier, and you have a marvelous crowd. This is the best turnout we've had all season long, and you feel like we're in for a classic to end the regular season.
Should be a good one tonight. Villanova, 3-0 win over Providence last night. A pretty stress-free match, you could say, for the Wildcats. And UConn, 3-0 over St. John's a night ago.
It looked like adults versus a younger bunch of high school kids last night. No offense to St. John's. UConn just blew St. John's out of the water in that first set. It wasn't even close. Like St. John's typically does, they make adjustments, they switch the lineup, played better as the match went along, but UConn outplayed the Storm last night pretty handily.
So it'll be Alyssa Nelson, freshman setter, who gets us underway. Villanova in the home whites, UConn in the road Navy Blues. Huskies work it to the left side, and it's an early point for Hanna Tilska, the native of Poland.
So Hanna Tilska having a big year, transfer from Navarro College. We talked about all the Texas kids that Providence had last night. Kat Young from Dallas. Of course, you have Lauren Wynn and McKenna Brand, those two rookies. They also played club with Kat Young, all from Dallas. All the Texas kids this weekend. It's crazy, Jake, how many from the Lone Star State.
Campbell McKinnon misses that one a bit wide, so 2 early points for the Huskies.
There's always nerves and jitters on senior night. It's an emotional time. A lot of home teams start slow, typically on a senior night, senior day.
Pretty much most of the regulars on the floor for Villanova early. They got a lot of those seniors in last night, and that's blocked back by Tilska. So a good start for the junior outside hitter, Tilska.
Josh Steinbach was telling me he thinks Hannah Tilska is like a St. John's player. European kid, of course, with Tilska out of Poland, who's physical at the net. And the addition of Anna Herman, number 9, has been blocking well. 6'3" rookie out of Indiana.
Wildcats in system. They go back to McKinnon. This time she goes a little softer and drops it in.
There's more size for UConn than Villanova. Anna Herman or Audrey Rome. Taylor Pinnell's an awesome veteran middle. So there's a size advantage and a lot of physicality with a lot of UConn's players. Even Doa Kutlu, the setter, she's physical.
And issues on the serve receive. Free ball pushed over, Logan Wynn. And that's going to be a point for Villanova. Double contact on UConn. So a couple in a row for the home side, and they'll get back to serve again with Kat Young.
Kind of a late call as Doa Kutlu was asking the up official. She didn't get the call. UConn hit every pass last night, Jake, against St. John's. They were glorious passing out of the back. Tonight, a little bit of a struggle on these 2 points.
Out of system, they'll swing from the back row. Too long from Emma Workmeister. So 3 in a row for Villanova. Highlighted Workmeister in our open. 12 kills last night against St. John's, and she's played well since she's come back from an injury that cost her some of this season.
They always will set Emma Workmeister back row. Out of system, UConn wasn't like this last night.
Nelson, Harrell punches it over. And that's some struggle, miscommunication. So 4 in a row for the Wildcats, taking advantage of some very sloppy play from UConn early.
Yeah, that's surprising as we highlighted in our open how consistent UConn is. They were awesome last night. They've had a very consistent season. Very slow all of a sudden and not off to a good start.
Kat Young sends it away again. Issues with the serve receive. And that one just pinballs all around. I believe it's McKinnon who will get credit for her kill. That's 5 in a row for the Wildcats, and a lot of it is because those first passes just are not clean from UConn.
And when we talked to Ellen Herman Kimball in our Zoom chat yesterday, she was talking about how good the serve receive and the passing's been and why it's been a successful season. When I've watched them play, they've been terrific passing so far. Again, struggles tonight.
One. 6 points in a row for Villanova.
I think she needs a timeout.
That's going to be a timeout. So
yep.
Ellen Herman Kimball will take one. 6-year head coach will try to just regather the troops. But it's a 6-0 run for the Wildcats early.
Yeah, Jake, really funny start. You didn't expect that for UConn. Everybody's bound to have their ups and downs. Of course, it's a long season. UConn got off to a 12-0 start, the best in program history. Then it was an 18-2 start, the best they've ever had. After just the 8 wins last year. Remember, they had to replace Kaylee Parker, maybe their best player ever, Kennedy Jake Turner. They lost 10 players from that 2022 team, so everybody has a down year once in a while. The cool thing, they had a good spring. Ellen told us, big-time developmental. All of their players are better. But this helps out Villanova because sometimes the home team, as we said, starts slow on senior night. All of a sudden, Villanova picked it up, Jake.
And she said that spring definitely helped the team a lot for that UConn side. And, of course, we'll take a look now back at senior day for this Wildcat side. They honored seniors Rose Chris, Elizabeth Fesco, Ellery Gray, Danny Ortiz, Ozzy Uzino, along with graduates Riley Homer and Taylor Jacobowski.
Danny Ortiz has missed the season because of an injury, so they haven't had her available, a valuable DS. But you've gone with rookies mostly anyway, as you probably knew you were going to. That was Josh's plan all along.
So 6 in a row for the Wildcats. More struggles on the serve receive, and Brand will send a free ball over. Wildcats in system. They work it to the right pin, but a big block back by UConn. It was Herman and Wynn who got up for it, and that's a big point for the Huskies.
Those 2 rookies have had awesome years blocking. Anna Herman, 6'3", as we said, out of Indiana, and Lauren Wynn out of Dallas, 6'2". Ellen telling us she came in as a big-time blocker, 76 total blocks for Lauren Wynn. They're working on her offense, too, so UConn has some blockers.
Harrell again, it's blocked back. Wildcats able to cover. Fesco will set it up for Abby Harrell, who tries one more time, and that time she is successful. Second termination of the night for Harrell after a match-high 11 last night.
So why is Abby Harrell a star and the reigning Big East Freshman of the Year? She got blocked on the first attempt. What did she do, Jake? She didn't try to hammer it with her big arm. She tooled it and went with a softer shot. It's the smart player that she is.
UConn finally finds themselves in system, and Emma Workmeister able to capitalize on that with her first kill of the night.
Emma Workmeister is a terrific volleyball player. She has the IQ. I remember Ellen telling me last year she's a perfectionist. She wants to get the game right. She's worked on her game so much. Awesome on the serve line. New York Gatorade High School Player of the Year. Led the team in kills last year. She's their go-to kid.
Harrell down the middle swing. It's blocked. They're going to set it up again. This time to the right pin. Roll shot and a pancake dig. Battle at the net, and it can't get over, so Riley Homer gets credit with the kill. Another point for Villanova as Taylor Jacobowski will check in to serve.
So Taylor Pennell got the block. She's one of the best blockers UConn's ever had. But what did Villanova do? Jake, like we said, they went simple float shot on the next point, and it worked rather easily. So UConn's going to have to pick up the roll shots from Villanova.
Jacobowski, the grad transfer from Seton Hall. Her former team will not be playing in the Big East tournament next week in Nebraska. Set it up, and it's Ozzy Uzino gets up at the net. She picks up a block. She's getting close to 100 this year. That's her 95th.
The set was good as Doa Kutlu's an excellent setter. The ball was accurate. I think Villanova just timed that block a little bit better, Jake.
Once again, not a great first pass up out of system. UConn works it to the right side, and it's going to be Lauren Wynn who gets the kill as the block back from Villanova went out of bounds.
Lauren Wynn can really block, and you'll earn some points off of that strong block that she has. She's one of the best physical players that Ellen's recruited to complement her existing lineup.
Sui was in. She sent it away. Good dig from Brand, reigning Big East Defensive Player of the Week. And a kill from Taylor Pennell, the Middletown, New York native, cuts the deficit to 2 for UConn.
So Taylor Pennell, awesome Under Armour All-American out of high school. 7th in the Big East in hitting percentage over 300. And she's one block shy of 400 for her career. I think she had one just a second ago, so she's at 400.
In system, and Taylor Lewis gets the kill. So 10-7, Villanova, the first to double digits tonight.
So what's great about Taylor Lewis, we knew she'd be good all along, like all Villanova's rookies, but her game has really taken off in November, and she's been on fire over the last couple of weeks.
Abby Harrell, the reigning Big East Freshman of the Year, sends it away. And another out-of-system look for UConn. This is not good night on serve receive so far. Wildcats are in system. Lewis with a blast that UConn's able to keep alive. Jacobowski down the middle, swing for Young, and UConn able to work with it and send it back. We'll try one more time, and that time Ozzy Uzino picks up her first kill of the night.
Because UConn's off balance, and I think it's in their head mentally. Villanova's running their offense with a lot of smooth play. Jacobowski with an easy quick set that time, and Ozzy Uzino has found her spots very well this year, and UConn had no answer there.
7 kills early for Villanova. They're hitting 267. Harrell, blast of a serve. Out of system again.
Villanova is out-serving UConn right now.
That one tight ropes that inside line. So
Wow.
a kill for UConn. Does not look like Josh Steinbach's going to ask for a look. So
Workmeister snuck it in there, didn't she? Watch out. Here's her jump serve. Let's make sure our crew gets it. She flings it up with one hand. She hits it with the other. You have to be ready for it because it's the hardest serve in the conference. Here it comes.
Workmeister sends it away. Fezco stabs a hand at it, but it's going to be an ace for Emma Workmeister, her 43rd of the season.
She was off to a great start in the ace department before she got hurt in October. She was blowing the rest of the Big East away with that awesome serve that she's always had. Again, a super talent for Ellen.
Workmeister sends it away again. This time clean on the first pass. They work it back to the left side. Strong swing, Young. Good dig from UConn, who's out of system. To the left side, Workmeister just bumps it over. Fezco finds Jacobowski, poked by Lewis, and good pancake dig up by Brand. Back row attack, blocked to the net by Uzino, but the Huskies cover. Work it again to the left pin. Wildcats able to settle it. Fezco sets it up. They work left side. Kat Young once again blocked back. Fezco sets it. This time to the right side. Lewis has a punch back, but it's going to be blown dead as Villanova's called for a foul, and UConn gets a point.
Villanova into the net after a long sequence. A pretty good hit by Taylor Lewis. I thought Doa Kutlu and McKenna Brand both made impactful defensive plays there to keep the rally alive for UConn. Here's Workmeister again.
And that one into the net. So, of course, there's the pros of that hard serve, but see there, that's the risk-reward game that you play. Also, watching Workmeister, Penn State volleyball had a player a few years ago. You probably know where I'm going, Johnny Parker, who had a very similar serve, the high backspin throw and the absolute missile of a serve.
And then Micah Hancock a decade ago before that.
And that's going to be off the fingertips of Jacobowski, so UConn gets it back. But, yeah, as soon as I saw Workmeister serve, my first thought was Johnny Parker from Penn State.
Yeah. Well,
I guess that was more my era.
Your era, she was good, and Micah Hancock played here for Penn State against Nova in the Villanova Classic 10 years ago.
In system are the Wildcats. They find Homer on the left side. Excuse me, actually that's Young who gets the kill, and the Wildcats get it back. So Villanova had an early flurry. They had a 6-0 run at one point, but it's been pretty back and forth so far as Alyssa Nelson checks back in to serve.
It's bound to be a good match because you have two talented teams. Kat Young, McKenna Brand, Lauren Wynn, all know each other well, all played on the same club team down in Dallas. Kat Young switched her club team last year.
Once again out of systems, UConn. They'll attack from the back row. Harrell digs it. Nelson keeps it alive for a moment, but it'll find the seats. So once again, things go back UConn's way.
Emma Workmeister muscled it that time because she has such a powerful arm and she can jump and do everything. She passes the eye test, definitely a superb talent for Connecticut.
Doa Kutlu in the serve. Good first pass. They go to the left side. Riley Homer, strong swing, good dig. They work at left side. Workmeister has it blocked back. And up at the net was Young and McKinnon. And the Wildcats going to work with their second block this first set.
Yeah, a lot of people wouldn't guess that Villanova, with a smaller team, would be fourth in the conference in blocks per set. But they've had a breakthrough year because of Uzi Uzino. And look, Kat Young, one of your rookies. She's a physical player when she needs to be.
Good serve receive, and the Wildcats block it back, and it's McKinnon again at the net. Couple in a row for Campbell, McKinnon, and Villanova.
Give Villanova tons of credit again with their blocking. That was a fun set. Doa Kutlu does it unconventionally. A really accurate ball into the middle for Anna Herman, but Villanova just timed their block better, Jake.
Kutlu sets it up again, down the middle swing. Good dig by Young. They work left side. Harrell too strong. Actually got a piece of the line judge. He looks okay, and UConn gets a point.
So UConn suddenly in system. They hit the first pass. Good set by Doa Kutlu. Awesome out of the back row. Finally, UConn maybe a bit more organized, and they found their stride.
Grace Maria sends it away. Right side, Harrell tipped the net, slow to up, and Brand able to dig it. They work it to the right pin, and a good swing and a kill for Lauren Wynn. Unable to handle it for Villanova was Young, and UConn back within one.
Neat story with Grace Maria. Her mom played for Gino Auriemma for UConn women's basketball during their initial national title team with Rebecca Lobo in the mid-'90s. Her mom, Sarah Northway, was a big part of that team. Her mom's got to be proud on that ace.
UConn's tied it up. Josh Steinbach wants to talk about it, so he'll take a timeout. We'll step away as well. It's been a fun first set. 15s across the board. We'll be back right after this. .3-0 run for UConn, fresh off Villanova timeout, and one of the kind of catalyst for this run. They've been good defensively, especially the libero, reigning Big East Freshman of the Week, McKenna Brand. But, of course, there's the senior, Elizabeth Fezco, on the other side for Villanova, who's just been a rock on the back line all season long.
As I've said all year, this is Fezco's best year by far. I think it's her most consistent season, and McKenna Brand was awesome last night against St. John's as she hit every pass. Very consistent rookie.
Down the middle swing from McKinnon, and it drops in, so that's exactly what you're looking for if you're Josh Steinbach off that timeout.
It's fun when we can use the word consistent with rookies. Alyssa Nelson, the rookie setter, found the first year. Campbell McKinnon, awesome middle, who's serving it here. She can serve too, Jake.
Once again, some struggles on the serve-receive for UConn. McKinnon on the dig. Nelson sets it. They find Harrell on the left pin, but it's blocked back at the net. Anna Herman and Lauren Wynn. Guess where Lauren Wynn's from? Dallas, Texas. Sensing a theme the last 2 nights?
Yeah, it's in Kat Young, Lauren Wynn, playing club ball together. That's where you might not have the advantage, even with Abby Harrell, as Lauren Wynn and Anna Herman are arguably, with Taylor Pinnell, their best blockers, and Audrey Rome when she plays as well. It's tough to beat the blocking there.
And Nova, can they keep it alive? Fezco, good work to do just that. In systems, UConn left pin, and Emma Workmeister. 4th kill tonight, leads all players.
Work that, right? With Doa Kutlu, who's having an awesome year. Her spring was terrific. Talking to Ellen yesterday when we had our chat with her, and Workmeister's taking a big jump with her game this year. Nobody's stopping UConn when they're in rhythm like that.
McKenna Brand, the libero, sends it away. Good first pass from Fezco. They work right side. Roll shot, and an overpass, and a termination from Riley Homer. Did it pretty much all by herself on that serve.
And Villanova has been winning the roll shot battle so far. On the finesse balls, UConn got a touch there, but it was an overpass, like you said, Jake, and Riley Homer put it away easily.
Taylor Jacobowski checks back in to serve. One of the 2 primary setters on this Villanova team. Kutlu sets it up, and the Wildcats stay in system. They'll find Harrell, and that time she gets through the block, squeezes the back corner, and puts her Wildcats back on top.
Most kids with big arms, they get stymied because they try to overpower it, but Abby Harrell knows how to play volleyball. So she went to the left side, she read their hands, and went around and still snuck it in. That's the talent of Abby Harrell.
Trifecta of kills early for Abby Harrell, and Jacobowski a bit long on the serve, so that'll even us back up.
Interesting first set because Villanova was out serving UConn, putting them in a pickle as the Huskies were not passing well, as we talked about, as you saw, right to start the match. The fact that they've caught up after Ellen called that timeout, kudos to UConn.
Punched over and drops in Ozzy Uzino, and it's 2 teams in Villanova and UConn. Both had a lot of success at the service line last night. Villanova, 10 aces against Providence. Friars had 1. And up in Queens last night, UConn, 13 aces. They're tied for the most in a match this year.
They just threw a monkey wrench at St. John's.
And Harrell puts one of the nets. That'll tie us back up.
Doa Kutlu uses that soft, low serve. And Emma Workmeister, here she is, with the power serve. They have so many different types of serve kids on this team. You have to be ready for it because it's not easy.
Now here is Workmeister. We've seen her already once tonight. Here's another hard serve from her, and a good first pass up. Right side in system. It's blocked, but Fezco able to cover it. Now to the left side, Kat Young. Pancaked up by Sully, but it's not enough as it goes into the net, so Villanova gets the point.
A nice hustle by Isabella Sui, number 1, the DS out of Toledo, who tried her best there.
So it'll be Fezco to serve as we're getting to the waning moments of this first set, and Fezco a little long. So that's back-to-back service errors for the Cats. 3 so far in this first set.
I really had this one circled on our broadcast calendar, Jake.
It's been fun so far, hasn't it?
Senior day, and you knew you'd get a talented UConn in front of a lot of fans. To see Emma Workmeister, this is a great setup we have here tonight.
One of the best crowds we've seen this season, and it's been a great first set and a great kill from Kat Young, her 3rd tonight, tied for the team best.
Kat Young with 4 double-doubles this year. She's found her stroke as the season's gone along. Started well. She's finishing well.
Alyssa Nelson, the freshman setter, will serve. It's been a great season. The Wildwood, Missouri native sends it away. They're in system technically. Back row swing, Workmeister. And she's able to tiptoe that back line, even us up again at 21. Blackjack on both sides.
And Workmeister has the hard shot. She has the medium shot. She has a variety in her bag of tricks. And they go back row with her quite a bit.
UConn to serve. Doa Kutlu will do it.
This is the short serve. This time she goes longer.
Goes long and gets the back line. So,
got it anyway.
But as you said it, Villanova probably thinking the same thing.
Yes, off
goes
the scout.
over their head.
Yes.
Not much they can do, so UConn back on top.
If you watch the tape, you see Doa Kutlu using that short pop-up serve where you're used to the harder one in practice a lot of times in your serve receive. Let's see what she does here.
Kutlu again, once again goes long, and smartly Kat Young lets it go, so it is a service error. 26th of the year for Kutlu.
And that's probably smart by Ellen in terms of what she calls from the sideline, because if you watch the tape from last night, you see her serving short. Maybe you expect that a little bit more, so it's good to mix it up.
Kat Young will send it away. In systems, UConn. Left pin, and it gets that back corner from Lauren Wynn. We'll see if Josh Steinbach challenges it. He's walking over towards the floor to at least ask his girls.
I think it was in. I think it was a good call.
Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be. No green card. So Grace Maria will serve. Arlington, Virginia native sends it away. In system, down the middle swing. Now to the right pin. It's blocked. Covered by the Huskies.
Big point here.
Workmeister slowed up. Nelson sets it. Abby Harrell kills it, and we're all tied at 23 again.
It's so wonderful to have setters who can be so accurate all year long. The home run pass by Alyssa Nelson right there on the money for Abby Harrell.
Campbell McKinnon steps to the back line. Huge point coming up here in this first set. And not a great serve receive. They do stay in system and a roll shot. Ozano sets it. Harrell will just float one over. Close to the net. Harrell again. Pokes it. Right at the 3-meter line. Kutlu sets it up. Workmeister. And it's tipped at the net. So Wildcats fall in that one. So it's 24-23.
That was because of Doa Kutlu. She made so many wonderful first touches. She turned her body, was able to get one of the passes well during that sequence, and she made sure that the ball didn't hit the deck. She kept UConn organized there.
McKenna Brand serves, set point for the Huskies. Wildcats in system. Abby Harrell, and a great dig by Brand. Down the middle, dunk move. And they're going to go back to Abby Harrell. Blocked the net. Wildcats able to keep it alive, and Nelson sends it free. Kutlu, Workmeister, and did it get the line? Doesn't matter, it was tipped. So that is how the first set comes to an end, 25-23.
UConn passed so much better during the second part of that opening set where they got themselves in order, and Doa Kutlu saved the day, having an awesome season as the setter. And you go to Workmeister, you like those odds.
Well, UConn victorious. What was an awesome first set, and man, it should be a good one tonight from Jake Nevin Fieldhouse. So take a breath, step aside. We'll be back with set number 2 coming up right after this. Set number 2, UConn victorious in the first. Big thanks to her right there, Emma Workmeister. What a first set. 7 kills, hit 385. She was great, and Villanova's going to have to find a way to neutralize her.
And she got better and better as the set went along. Every match she's played against Villanova in her career, she has double-digit kills. She filled in for Kaylee Parker 2 years ago when Parker was out against Nova. That was her rookie year for Emma. Of course, she missed the first meeting earlier this year. Josh felt like that maybe could have been a win for Villanova. The team split last year. You recall that Villanova lost at UConn on senior night up in Stores last year in UConn's new volleyball center.
Huskies on top 1-0. They beat Villanova up in Stores 3-1 back on October the 18th. Wildcats going to look to try to even things up in this second set. Left pin, good dig from Fezco. Work it to the left side, Tilska. Long rally to start the first, but it's Herman and Tilska who meet it at the net, and UConn gets the first.
Those 2 new players that UConn has. Lots of new impact kids for both of these programs, and Anna Herman's really taken off blocking the last couple weeks, and Hannah Tilska has so much physicality. They knew she could score. They worked on her overall game since transferring from junior college.
Campbell McKinnon, that's pancaked up by Kutlu. Blocked back and it drops in. Good effort from Kutlu, but Kat Young's there to finish it.
Doa Kutlu is making one awesome play after another. She's arguably been the best player on the floor so far. She's a lot like Jacobowski, slides through her knees and makes these crazy passes and sets from all these weird, difficult angles.
And defensively, she's been good too, as that's a service ace. 3 digs per set for Kutlu this season entering tonight. So Kat Young gets the ace. Couple points in a row for the Wildcats.
In that loss to UConn earlier this year, Kutlu had 51 dimes and 32 digs. She was awesome.
Kutlu sets it up in system to the left pin, and that's a kill for Lauren Wynn. That's her 4th, second on the team.
Boy, if Lauren Wynn could score like this, because you know she's a big blocker, that makes UConn even better when number 14 is scoring. It makes them even more diversified, so Workmeister doesn't have to carry the load. This has been an awesome season for UConn. They're having one of their best years.
23-6. They were undefeated in non-conference play, and they've gone 11-6 in the Big East this year, as that one misses a bit wide.
So good momentum for UConn after winning that first set when it looked like Villanova might run away with it. So Ellen called that timeout. The Huskies got it together. You know they're always organized, that they would figure it out.
UConn started the year off 12-0. That came after winning only 8 games last year. They also had a 6-game winning streak right smack in the middle of Big East play this year. It's a changed team up in Connecticut. Harrell sends it over. That's punched back. Did it get the back line? It didn't. So it's a bit long, and the Wildcats tie things up. But, man, it's been a – I mean, look, it's still early, but it's been a great match so far.
I love Doa Kotlu's game, and she tried to fling that to the back row. I love her game. She'll do that routinely.
And if you see something, why not go for it?
She did that at her old school at the junior college level.
Kutlu sets it up. Roll shot from Lauren Wynn, and it drops right in as a diving Campbell McKinnon couldn't get to it. She'll check out.
That was a home run back set for Doa Kutlu. I think maybe even threw Lauren Wynn off guard that time. Got to be ready for it.
McKenna Brand will serve. In system, Nelson sets it up for Harrell, but a bit too strong on the swing for Abby Harrell. She's got 5 kills, but she's hitting right at about a 100 early on so far tonight.
So that's 4 attack errors for Abby Harrell, even though she has the 5 kills. Teams are going to try and take her away, Jake.
To the right side, Homer swings. It's blocked out of bounds, so Riley Homer gets herself a kill. Makes it 5-4 early in the second set.
Taylor Pinnell timed the block very strong, but it went out of bounds. She's been such a good player throughout the duration of her career. She's always blocked at a high level. She had 14 kills against Villanova last year.
Kutlu sets it up. Down the middle swing from Taylor Pannell. Wildcats able to keep it alive nicely. Free ball sent over by Taylor Jacobowski. Kutlu sets it up again. Another swing softly. Jacobowski almost pancaked it. Looked like it was Taylor Panel who finished it for UConn.
Lauren Wynn went float shot. So that's 6 kills and no errors for the rookie out of Dallas. Lauren Wynn making plays, known as a blocker. Boy, they've worked on her game a lot. Credit to that young lady.
Taylor Lewis, nice dig by Cebollero. Down the middle swing. Wildcats able to stick with it. To the left side, Workmeister gets a kill because why not? That's her 8th.
It says 5'11" on the roster for Emma Workmeister, but she plays way bigger than that.
Does not feel like she's 5'11".
No, because she can jump and she's physical and she's a big-time athlete.
Taylor Lewis from the back row. Good dig again by Bram. That's the reigning Big East Defensive Player of the Week. And then Taylor Panel finishes it.
Isabel Sui had an awesome ace to throw Villanova out of whack, and Coach Steinbach wants to talk it over.
So they will talk it over. We'll step aside for a moment. UConn rolling early in the second set. A fantastic crowd on hand on this senior night, regular season finale from Jake Nevin Fieldhouse. Huskies an 8-4 advantage over UConn as Josh Steinbach just looking for some answers right now. His team already down 1-0 in terms of sets, and Ellen Herman Kimball's squad is looking pretty good so far early in the second.
These are arguably my 2 favorite coaches. Who wouldn't want to play for these two? As they know how to teach. They're great people. You want to be around them. Their kids play hard for their respective coaches.
So service error out of the timeout. I believe there's been 3 timeouts called on both sides, and the team that called the timeout won the point coming out of the timeout each time. Let's get back to another theory I have I'll go to in a minute. On the right side, it's just pushed on over by Workmeister. To the left side, bit of an awkward swing from Young, and a couple of bodies collide for UConn, and they'll just send a free ball over. To the left side, swing. Once again out of sorts, Workmeister. Fezco digs it. Jacobowski will set it up. Now to the right side, Taylor Lewis. It's blocked back. Dump move, Kutlu, and that's going to work out. So 9-5 UConn, but kind of on that topic of timeouts, I don't know. I think you're a big baseball guy, Nick. My theory with baseball always is I feel like a very high percentage of the time, every time a pitching coach goes out to talk to a pitcher, first pitch after that meeting is always a strike.
I agree.
It's like a timeout. You call the timeout, team that calls it wins it more often than not. And that's what you're looking for. Just a little bit of confidence. So a missile from Workmeister. Wildcats able to play with it, and an excellent diving save there from Sui. And it ultimately results in a kill for Tilska. So UConn on all ends of the floor making plays.
We talked a lot about Doa Kutlu defensively and what she's done to get herself in position as the setter. But give a lot of credit to McKenna Brand and the year she's having. And Isabella Sui's made some big plays. She did a second ago. There's
Workmeister again.
Yep.
The pass was in system. Wasn't clean, but it still worked. Tilska from the left side. Fezco to Jacobowski, over to Young, has it blocked back. Now they'll work it over to Taylor Lewis. She'll go soft right to the 10-foot line. Back row swing, and off the paws of Abby Harrell, and it's another point for UConn, who leads by 6.
And they'll set Emma Workmeister back row when she's in that rotation. And she gets up so high, she can score and hit any of the zones. And you got to love this jump serve that she's been using. It's one to watch.
And just a bit long.
Not by much, though.
Not by much.
Oh.
Not look like any challenges coming here, but this is a very talented UConn team that is playing some very good volleyball right now. They're going to be a tough out in the Big East tournament.
And UConn's had talented teams for decades, and I've said it many times. I'm so happy they're back in the Big East where they belong.
Right side and a bit wide from the swing of panel.
You think about UConn volleyball, field hockey, they had bad seasons last year. These are really good programs typically. Both teams bounced back big time. Women's soccer won the Big East tournament, made the NCAAs, beat Rutgers on the road last weekend. So they're fall sports. UConn has 7 wins in football. All their fall sports have had good years.
So Nova gets another point there, makes it 11-8.
Which is typical. UConn's teams are always good historically. They're still good, and to have some of their teams bounce back and have good falls, credit to those teams.
Fezco sends it away. In system, UConn, and Kutlu with the dump move lands it beautifully.
So Villanova setters don't do that a whole lot, and frankly, they don't use it much at all. But Kutlu does it all the time. She has 75 kills. She hits 271. She did this routinely at Missouri State West Plains, where she played for 2 seasons, and she had 79 kills last year.
Wildcats set it up, and that's going to be tipped and a kill for Kat Young. So 2-point lead for UConn, 3-point lead. This is the 39th meeting all time between these two sides. Nova does hold the edge 23-15, but it's been Husky dominance as of late. UConn winning 7 of the last 8.
But Josh is very solid over his career, especially here at Nevin. 6-3 all time against UConn here in this building.
That included a 3-0 sweep against the Huskies just a year ago. Tilska from the left side, it's blocked back. They'll go back to Tilska at the left pin, and McKinnon and Homer get up for it, and just like that, the Wildcats are on a little bit of a flurry.
So a lot of people, we talk about Campbell McKinnon's blocking, only 5'10", but the kid out of Memphis can jump out of the building, and Riley Homer is big and strong. She always has been, and you like that duo there.
Alyssa Nelson will serve it. Good serve receive, right to the line. Blocked and out of bounds.
Boy, everybody did their job there. The serve was super awesome from Alyssa Nelson. The serve receive and the pass was perfect. Villanova got the stuff, but Workmeister just a little bit stronger there.
So it'll be Doa Kutlu's had herself a good night so far. She'll serve, jump float. This time she goes short.
That's her
after
normal
going
serve.
Long last time. Homer from the left side. It's blocked back, and UConn another point.
Yeah, and Anna Herman's been blocking big time, so now you see Doa Kutlu using that serve where it's tough to get to because it looks easy, Jake, but it's not easy to defend against. Native of Turkey, 2 years of junior college, 2-time All-American there. So improved.
Down the middle, McKinnon. That's a hitting error. That'll make it a 5-point deficit for the Wildcats.
And that wasn't terrible from Villanova, but you see Anna Herman looming at 6'3", and I think it gets in your head a little bit because Villanova knows they're a bit undersized.
Of course, UConn did have their brief spell when they were out of the Big East, but nice to have the Huskies back in the conference. McKinnon, a strong swing, back up at the net. Homer pounds it, but a good dig. Left side, Tilska, off the mitts of Nelson. Homer gets to it, and Harrell bumps it over just behind the line. Kutlu sets it up. Strong swing, but a good dig from Harrell. Nelson works it. Riley Homer left pin. Roll shot. Tilska again. Fezco to Kat Young. It's back. Pinballs all around. What a rally we got here. Homer again. It's blocked. Nelson keeps it alive. Fezco. Kat Young, bit wide. UConn wins the long rally.
The blocking is a problem right now if you're Nova, as UConn's blockers are asserting themselves big time, and Villanova is still trying to find more of an answer.
Well, they'll search for answers with a timeout, and while they do that, we'll join them back after this between Villanova and UConn. A lot to be happy about in that Husky huddle right now. Head coach Ellen Herman Kimball in her 6th season, and she has really orchestrated a big turnaround from 2023 to 2024, and it started in the offseason. It started in the spring. They knew they had to get better at volleyball during the offseason, but they also knew that the culture had to be better. They preached what the standards are in the spring and what cultural things we want to establish with that leadership group. And it seems like everything that their coaches kind of preached to them throughout the offseason, it's paid off in large dividends this year. So we're back underway, down by 6 to the Wildcats. Good dig there, and they'll walk it over to Homer on the left side. Set from the back row from Brand. And that will drop, so it's a kill for Lauren Wynn. Another for her. She's had a good night, up to 7.
So Ellen Herman Kimball was the assistant previously. And in the American Conference, they never had a winning record inside league play. That was under Chris Grunwald. Well, sometimes the best coach is the one that's still on the bench. So they gave her the head coaching job. Look what happened. And they were dealing with COVID. And UConn took off as soon as Ellen got the job. So an awesome hire for the Huskies. She's done a remarkable job.
Been some good plays on both ends of the floor on this rally. Nova really needs to find a way to turn the tides, but Tilska and Herman get to the net, and that's going to make it 18-10.
Hannah Tilska, a physical player, had 16 kills against Nova, 19 at Georgetown, had 32 kills a few years back when she was playing for Navarro College in Texas. She had 32 against Blinn College. I believe that's where Cam Newton went when he didn't work out at Florida, we'll put it lightly. Had the transfer and then went to Auburn eventually.
Cam Newton, I believe the 2010 or 2011 Heisman winner. I think 2010 because he was the first overall pick in 2011. Right side, and that's an overpass from Nelson. Kutlu sets it up. Good back set, and Tilska gets it off a hand of a cat, and that drops in, so 19-10. Josh has no more timeouts, so not much he can do to stifle this 7-0 run.
Look what Hannah Tilska did in a match 2 years ago. She had 21 kills, 11 aces, and 12 digs. That's a heck of a triple-double. I don't care what level you play at.
Kutlu will serve it again. This time she goes long. Nelson right at the line sets it over to Kat Young.
That's Rose Christ in the game.
They're going to go to Rose Christ, and it'll drop again. So another point for UConn, and just Josh Steinbach looking for a spark. But Chris, good night last night. 5 kills, a block, hit 556. Maybe the senior from Indiana can be that spark they're looking for.
Well, you don't need to win this match, so Josh can tinker a little bit more, as Rose hasn't played a whole lot this year, but she's playing now. This will be a lot of fun if she makes an impact.
Sets it up for Harrell, and that's going to be violation on Villanova. So 21-20.
Yeah. Ball error there on Villanova, and it looked a little bit off when they were connecting the dots.
They set it up to the right side. That's blocked, but a good dig by Brandt. She's been terrific defensively tonight. Fesco to Nelson. Rose Christ goes forward, and there's a kill for Rose Christ.
But UConn's getting a block on almost every single swing that Villanova's taking at the moment. So that's a troublesome part of the match, especially if you play them again in a couple days.
Kat Young sends it away. Kutlu sets it up down the middle. Swing from Wynn was a strong one. Back row blocked. Rose Christ down to a knee to get it. Harrell blocked, and it's out, so a couple in a row for Villanova. Harrell, her 6th kill tonight.
Boy, Abby Harrell against those two big kids in Anna Herman and Lauren Wynn, those awesome rookie blockers that Ellen's brought in. Abby tooled it well enough there to get a point, but it wasn't easy.
And that's going to be a service error. So you said a couple moments ago, Nick, that tonight doesn't matter win or loss. We're obviously in Queens. St. John's did win that 4 sets. They beat Providence 3-1. That puts St. John's at 10-8. Villanova sits at 9-8 right now. If they win and they match St. John's, it won't matter because St. John's holds the tiebreaker as well. So Villanova, I believe, is solidified into that 6th seed now. So win or loss kind of seeding doesn't really matter, but you still want to be good going in.
Villanova can still, according to Josh, get the 5 seed if they beat UConn tonight.
That's going to be a joust at the net, and it's going to be a point for Villanova.
UConn certainly took the momentum from winning that first set. They've dominated Villanova here in set number 2, and the blocking is the reason why. And yes, UConn's doing everything well, but the blocking is a real pickle at the moment for Nova.
And that's going to fall a bit short off the hand of Wynn. Of course, the other kind of factor seeding-wise is DePaul. They play Marquette tomorrow, so
assuming DePaul
loses puts them
Marquette.
at 10 and 8.
Yes, assuming DePaul loses that.
Now, DePaul and Villanova did split this year, tiebreaker-wise, and there's another point for UConn. That'll make it 23-15.
So, interesting. Last night, Creighton beats DePaul. Audrey Klent, we said she got banged up against Providence. Audrey Klent, big physical player for DePaul. She did not play last night. But Rachel Krasowski, who also got banged up last weekend against Providence, Krasowski did play last night.
And that's going to go a bit long, so 23-16. But if my math is correct and current results hold, a win for UConn tonight will solidify them into the 3 spot, and a loss for Nova tonight does solidify them into the 6 spot.
Correct.
So if results hold, this will be your first-round matchup,
Correct.
UConn and Villanova, and then it'll be St. John's and DePaul, just a matter of who's 4 and who's 5.
Correct.
So, of course, a lot going on, but for Nova, all that really matters is they're in. Down the middle, swing and a kill for Taylor Pannell, and that'll make it set point number 1 here for UConn.
As we said, a good veteran for Ellen, as they've had some new players in recent years. I think they've had to rework their chemistry because they graduated so many kids on the Kelly Parker team for 2022.
Fesco finds Jacobowski, and Uzino keeps things alive, makes it a 7-point deficit.
It was such a good start for Villanova tonight, wasn't it? Well, since then, UConn has really taken over.
Villanova had a really strong start. They had a 6-0 run early in the first set. UConn won a back and forth first, and the Huskies pretty much have dominated this second set. Abby Harrell will try to keep things going here on the serve. Kutlu sets it up. They'll go to the right side, and it's blocked back by Kat Young to make that a 6-point deficit.
You know why UConn's improved? Obviously, the passing, the organization. Last year, they were 281st nationally in defense and opponent's hitting percentage. This year, they're 51st best in the country in opponent's hitting percentage. A big jump.
Opponents hitting just 180 against UConn this year. Abby Harrell, some help from the net, gets an ace, and that's going to be a timeout called here by Ellen Herman Kimball. We'll keep things here, 24-19 our score. UConn's on top of Villanova, but it's been a 3-0 run for the Wildcats. And Nick, regardless of what happens in this second set, what's the conversation with that Villanova side at the 5-minute intermission about what adjustments can they make to try and neutralize what UConn's doing well tonight?
Well, number one, I think they should have fun on senior night, and it gets so serious, obviously, in D1 sports. But Josh just needs to keep everybody relaxed. I think you want to play hard and win this because there is a chance to avoid UConn and maybe play somebody else if you want to think that route. But you're always here to compete and play hard. You just need to settle down. Now, in terms of X's and O's adjustments, you're going to see that block consistently. So you have to tool it the best you can. You were going with roll shots earlier. You're going to have to use that because UConn was struggling with that. But Ellen's team usually makes adjustments no matter what, so there's your cat and mouse battle.
UConn's playing some good volleyball right now. They have won 7 straight sets on the doorstep of 8 in a row if they can finish off this second set.
My favorite is Peter Netasinga was the old Marquette assistant, and Abby Gilliland was the old UConn assistant. They traded schools. Abby's now at Marquette. Of course, Abby Gilliland was the setter at Ohio when Ellen was there, set the MAC record for kills, and Ryan Tice was the Ohio coach at the time. So a lot of familiarity with a lot of those notable coaches.
Harrell sends it away. UConn trying to go up 2-0. They'll work it to the right pin. Pinball's around. Find over to Kat Young. Good dig. Kutlu sets it up for Workmeister, and she will find that sideline and put UConn up 2-0 with a 25-19 win in the second.
Emma Workmeister has double-digit kills again against Villanova. Another day at the office for number 12.
Workmeister is working hard tonight. So is UConn. They're up 2-0. We'll step aside for a moment. Third set coming up just after this.
At Mainline Health, we make sure that heart care is heartfelt. From murmurs to heart valve disease, we listen, we treat, we innovate. It's where your health is held alongside your humanity, where cutting-edge clinical trials meet compassion, with expertise ranging from preventive to pioneering. Because human care listens to your heartbeat and who it beats for. So if the rhythm of life changes, turn to the place where world-class isn't just nearby. It's where human care has a home.
When planning your next step, Villanova University's College of Professional Studies meets you where you are. Whether your journey leads to a long-awaited degree, enables you to change careers, or accelerates your current one, we have rigorous online and on-campus programs designed to align your experience with your aspirations. When everything you've been ignites everything you'll be, transformation has no age limit. Pursue the next you.
About ready for set number 3 from Nevin Fieldhouse. Jake Starr, Nick Montaigne. Appreciate you spending your Saturday with us. Take a look at some of our highlights from our first 2 sets. It was a back and forth first set. UConn won, but then the Huskies were able to kind of roll a bit better in set number 2. And I mean, Emma Workmeister has been great. Kutlu's been awesome. Lauren Wynn's been really good as well.
And Villanova hit negative in that second set, and UConn hit 282 in that set and just took off with their blocking like that. Villanova, as we said, had no answer. Early in the match, Villanova was towing the block, but all of a sudden, UConn's physicality and the extra height and length they have, they're timing the block well. Dua Kutlu's been the best player on the floor by far, and I think she's an all-conference setter. In terms of the awards that are coming out next week, it's obvious that Kendra Waite will be Player of the Year and will be Setter of the Year again next year, like she was last year. Now, Obviously, Norris Sis could win Player of the Year, but Kendra Waite was just named the semifinalist for National Player of the Year. One of 14 players named. The list is online. You can see a lot of stars. But when you have setters making the top 14, that speaks volumes. I believe Fairbanks from Pitt, their great setter, and Kendra Waite are the two notable setters on that finalist list, with Sarah Franklin, the reigning Player of the Year from Wisconsin, who's having another big year, Eva Hudson, Jess Brusick from Penn State on that list, and a host of others.
Just saw our set and match recap so far. It was 25-23 UConn in the first, 25-19 Huskies in the second, and now the Wildcats in their final home match of the season are going to look to avoid a sweep at the hands of the Huskies, while UConn is looking to get on the bus back to Connecticut happy tonight.
So we often say, if Marquette and Creighton weren't around, Doa Kutlu might be the setter of the year in the Big East. But Kendra Waite's still here.
So Ellery Gray is in to start this third set. The senior setter served, and McKinnon who works it down the middle. Now they work right pin and a bit wide from Lauren Wins. That'll make it 1-0 Villanova. So it looks like Josh Steinbach looking for a little bit of a change in the middle to go to his third setter.
Alyssa Nelson and Jacobowski maybe weren't super perfect in that second set. And again, they've been great all year long. So Josh trying something else.
Down the middle from Workmeister, but softer that time. Here's Kat Young. Good dig up on the back row. And that'll drop in off a hand. Anna Herman picks up a kill for her. That is her second kill tonight.
I think you'll still run a 6-2, but which two setters will it be? And this is a kudos to Josh, getting to play his seniors when your season's not on the line. You have the luxury to do that.
And McKinnon off the tape and goes wide. That was redirected by the net, so 2-1 UConn.
So again, I have Kendra Waite as Player of the Year. I have Kendra Waite as Setter of the Year. Freshman of the Year. It could be McKenna Brand. It could be Lauren Wynn. I think McKenna Brand's the favorite right now. But Kat Young, Campbell McKinnon, Alyssa Nelson all should get votes.
And Lewis goes wide. No
and don't
tip
forget
on that
about
one.
Taylor Lewis. All those Villanova rookies combined, if you morphed them into one player, Jake, it'd be a super freshman, right?
It's been a great freshman class for Villanova. I know we talked last night a little bit about the incoming class of 2025. So we said future is very bright here on the main line, regardless of what happens tonight and what happens next week in Nebraska. And it's going to be a net violation on UConn, so
Josh was wondering why it was such a late call, but they made it.
officials tonight. Rebecca Johannes is our up official. Trish Hoover's our down official. Anthony Valbron and Joshua Jones are our line judges tonight.
And I think these two staffs are my favorites for coaching staffs of the year.
Strong swing. Good dig from Ellery Gray. To the back row, Kat Young, dug up by Kutlu. Brand sets it. Workmeister kills it. Number 12 tonight for number 12.
Emma Workmeister having such a solid evening after a slow start. The entire roster for UConn, they picked it up. Ellen and her staff making the adjustments. They settled down. The blocking's taken over. They passed and served really well. The Huskies played well last night, playing well again. Another good serve.
Isabella Sui, the sophomore from Toledo, Ohio, sent it away. And Kutlu set it up, and Panel killed it. So a 3-point lead early in this third set for UConn.
I often just say Toledo because I don't think there's another one that I know of that's notable.
Sui sends it away again. Gray sets it up. Really good set and a good kill from McKinnon. It wasn't a great first pass up from the Cats, but Ellery Gray, a good job to still leave a good ball for Campbell McKinnon, who gets her fourth kill tonight.
And I'm pretty sure there's only one main Memphis, and that's where Campbell McKinnon's from. So remember that town.
Dump move Kutlu. She's good for one of those is set, and then Kutlu goes down for the pancake.
With one hand.
And that's going to result in a point for UConn. What can't Kutlu do? She's got couple kills tonight. She's got 24 assists. She's got an ace. She's got 9 digs. She's right on the verge of another double-double.
So Josh is challenging this, and Doa Kutlu went with the one-hand pancake. She is making so many fun plays tonight. She makes it look so easy, and it's definitely not. She throws her body around into tricky angles. I remember Ellen telling me when they got her last year, she does things so differently, and you can tell. And to keep her poise through all of it, we'll see if that ball did hit the court.
From that angle, looks like it got her hand.
That went off of hands. I'm curious what Josh is asking for here. It must be on this. That has to be because there was a clear deflection when it got returned.
I think it hit her hand. I think this is going to stand. And it doesn't actually. They're going to say it hit the floor.
So Josh saw it immediately. He had the card in his hand before the point was over.
So a successful challenge and a big one of that for Josh Steinbach. Makes it a 6-3 match into a 5-4 match in this third set. It's about an hour into this regular season finale, and there's a kill there for the panel, who immediately points to Doa Kutlu and says, heck of a pass, partner.
Look at the way Doa Kutlu threw her hands up. Are you not entertained, she says?
25th assist tonight for Doa Kutlu, native of Turkey. And now it's Workmeister back to serve again, and a bit long on it.
If you want to see the best jump serve in the country, you have to Google the setter from USC. She has the best in the country. She flings it up in the air just like Workmeister, and it's marvelous to watch. And after you're watching us, go watch Wisconsin-Nebraska tonight. It's on late on Big Ten Network. Those two teams will make championship weekend again, you figure.
All out of sorts is UConn. It's an overpass, but Rose Chris too hard on it. So a hitting error for Chris makes it 7-5.
And we've said all year, Creighton ranked number 5. Could they get one of those top 4 seeds, Jake, and be the host during the quarterfinal round, essentially, in the regionals? That's what you're wondering. Or does Creighton get the 5 seed? They're ranked 5th. I'm curious what seed they end up getting.
Dump move, that time from Jakubowski. Saw Kutlu doing it and said, why don't I do it? And it works out. Jakubowski gets herself a kill, just her 17th on the year.
And you figure Wisconsin, Pitt, Louisville will get the top 3 seeds. After that, I think Creighton should be considered for the 4 seed. And I'm very curious how the selection committee will reward Creighton. This is their best team ever. They have a chance to make a Final Four.
It's a Creighton team that's 17-0, undefeated in Big East play so far.
They've done that before too, Jake.
Good swing and a kill from Workmeister makes it 8-6.
When you do that routinely, beating everybody in the conference, again, Creighton's done that. This will be the 3rd time if they win tomorrow. Incredible season again. Ava Martin was sensational last night in the win over DePaul. I believe 20 kills.
Right side, Rose Chris down to a knee to dig it up. Kat Young, and another nice dig from Brand. Reigning Big East Defensive Player of the Week, but a bit too hard from Anna Herman. Once again, puts the Cats within 1.
This is a good learning lesson when you play these big teams that are physical, that makes you stronger. It gets you more familiar with them. And come next year, Villanova's bringing in more size, so that should help come next year.
Back row attack from Abby Harrell results in a kill off the mitts of Herman. And just like that, we're tied up at 8 in the 3rd set.
So a lot of times when you see teams play on the final day and they meet in the conference tournament a week later, I've seen this show before, this episode, a lot of times it's not a repeat of what you just saw.
Workmeister, number 14 tonight for her, leads all players.
That was a monster smash from Emma Workmeister.
Get the radar gun out. Want to see how hard that's coming off the hand.
Incredible season she's had. She's put it all together. When we talked with Ellen yesterday over Zoom, had 29 kills at Colgate. That's the most by any Big East player, tied with Jill Presley of DePaul.
And that one just pinballs around, and a free ball eventually pushed over. Kutlu sets it up. Workmeister again. And how about that? Number 15 tonight for Emma Workmeister.
And it looks like she's not even tiring down. The good players get stronger as a match goes on. And Workmeister is only getting better and better as the night proceeds.
Good dig on the back row. Kutlu races it down to set it, and Brand will send it over. Harrell, Jacobowski, it's blocked. Fezco, a good dig. Back to the right side, and it stays up. I don't know how in the world UConn kept that one alive. They'll try again. Fezco digs, and the Huskies get a huge kill.
How about that dig from the right side kid, Lauren Wynn, who's had a great night attacking. Big blocker out of Dallas, obviously. Played with Kat Young. Look at the up there by the new libero they have in McKenna Brand, as she's probably going to win Big East Freshman of the Year because of a play like that.
Jacobowski sets it up. Harrell from the back row hits the tape, and UConn keeps it alive. Over to the right side, roll shot. Fezco got it for a moment, but that makes it 12-8.
Lauren Wynn
4 in a row
with
for UConn.
9 kills for Lauren Wynn, Jake. Just an incredible night. Breakout night on offense for kids known for her blocking. How about Anna Herman with 6 blocks tonight as number 9 there on your screen. Awesome freshman middle for Ellen.
Kat Young has a block back. Kat's able to cover. Now they'll try the right pin, and Rose Chris will get herself another kill. Second tonight, 7th of the weekend.
So Kat Young got blocked by her old clubmate Lauren Wynn there on the left pin, and then Rose Christ. Great to see her out there. Just wonderful to see her get playing time this weekend.
Ellery Gray checks in the serve. Only played in one set of one match before this weekend. She's now played back-to-back nights, and she's looks pretty good. Bit long on that serve right there. First time she's had an error this year. Did have a couple of aces last night. 6 assists, 2 aces, and a dig for the senior Gray from Lexington, Kentucky. McKenna Brand, the freshman, reigning Big East Defensive Player of the Week, serves, and McKinnon drops it in. Another kill there for Campbell McKinnon. That's her 5th.
And in this era of bigger setters, Josh has recruited bigger setters, obviously, with Emma Decker, who was 6'4", and Belle Morgan, 6'2". Belle didn't get the developmental season in the spring because of COVID, because she was an Under Armour All-American. She could have had a better career if COVID didn't happen. And Ellery Gray has a lot of size as well. And next year, with the setter Josh is bringing in, and Ava Harris is 6 foot and a major physical blocker at the net. So you'll have the smaller, quicker setter next year with Alyssa Nelson, Jake, and you'll have a bigger, more physical setter at the net. And you can still run a 6'2".
Suey will send it away on the serve. Overpass. Fezco able to keep it alive. Gray for Harrell. An absolute missile that Suey keeps alive. There's Workmeister, and it's McKinnon and Lewis who meet her at the net for the block. 6 block tonight for the Wildcats.
Again, this is good experience you get against one of the best teams in the conference, because you'll see them in the conference tournaments looking like in a couple days. You're going to see them next season. Get familiar with them because you're going to play them a lot going forward.
And Taylor Lewis gets herself another kill. That's just her 2nd tonight. So Wildcats cut the deficit to 2. They must win 3rd set for Villanova if they want to keep the match alive. They trail 2-0. Dump move, Kutlu again, and it does work out. Doa Kutlu, her 3rd kill tonight.
So many setters telegraph it, Jake. Doa Kutlu does not. She knows how to fool the opposition.
Workmeister again. Just a treat to watch her serve. Here's Harrell, another rocket arm, and she finishes it for Villanova with her team best 8th kill.
That's a treat to watch Abby Harrell swing. Workmeister's serve is, again, it's so special. When you can side out from it, that's a big bonus.
Taylor Jacobowski's back in. She'll serve. Playing in her final match here at Nevin Fieldhouse. Played here plenty as a visitor with Seton Hall, and of course now gets to play here with Villanova. 4 years with the Pirates. Grad transfer for her 5th year with the Cats. Harrell has it blocked back. Cats able to cover. There is Jacobowski. Goes to Harrell and nearly pancaked again by Suey, but the Wildcats now down just 1.
So this is my final match getting to call a Jacobowski kid. It's like he used to call soccer when her sister Taryn played for Creighton against Nova, and then when Taylor played for Seton Hall, now Taylor for Villanova. So unless any more Jacobowskis are coming, their family can finally stop listening to me. Maybe that's a good thing.
And that's going to tie us up at 15.
It's such a treat having her this year. The players love her. As soon as she walked in the door in the spring, the kids ate her up immediately. They just love her personality. Very likable person. That's why they named her captain.
She's been a captain every single year of her career, all 5 years. And there's an ace, and the captain's pumping up her team right now. Villanova's on top for the first time in a while. UConn takes a timeout. They trail 16-15.
And the crowd loves it as the fans are into it. Give credit to the fans on the Emma Workmeister serve as maybe they startled her. It was like trying to freeze her at the free throw line. They yelled out when she hit it. So that maybe helped out Villanova for a rally or two. That's why it's important to play at home, Jake.
Let's take a look at our upcoming TV schedule around Villanova athletics. Another busy week coming up here for the Wildcats. Men's basketball home on Wednesday and also next Saturday the 3rd. Men's basketball, again, pretty much all basketball, 3 men's games and a women's game. The 3 men's games will be on TV, FS2, FS1 for the last 2, and then James Madison comes to town against the women's basketball team on a couple of Sundays from now on the 15th. That'll be right here on Flow Sports.
And don't forget about men's basketball tomorrow against Maryland, which will be played at the Prudential Center. Did I get that right? At the arena in northern New Jersey where I was ready to say New Jersey Nets, but they don't exist anymore, do they?
Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
New Jersey Devils.
Probably where the Devils. Well, me and pro sports don't always get along well, Jake, unless it's baseball. I don't know my arena names and who plays where anymore in the hockeys and the basketballs of the world.
Of course, Prudential, also where Seton Hall basketball plays a good bit of
there
their
you
games.
go. Thank you, Jake.
Over to the left side, Tilska has it blocked back. Good dig, Suey, who was down to the ground, and it's blocked again. Bumped a free ball over from Brand. Good rally out of the UConn timeout. It stays alive, and Villanova a chance to set up in system. To the right side, and Taylor Lewis terminates one. Actually, it looked like that was Rose Christ.
It's Rose Christ after an awesome dig by McKenna Brand to keep it alive. Rose Christ on senior night. This must be great for her with her family here. Senior night before the match, and you get to make the postseason.
It's a 5-0 run for the Wildcats. Haven't seen them look this good since the first set, but Hannah Tilska gets the back line, and it cuts it within 1 to snap that 5-0 Cats run.
Okay, so Wednesday's the first round of the Big East tournament. If Villanova's the 6th seed, they'll play possibly UConn the 3 seed at 5 o'clock Central Time. The 4-5 game will be at 2:30 Central Time. Those are the listed start times for all the fans out there. You can watch on the Big East Digital Network on Flow Sports.
Harrell pokes one, and they'll go over to Hannah Tilska, and Kat Young able to dig it along the back line. Harrell again, too long, and that'll tie us up at 17 after a couple points in a row for the Huskies.
The semifinals will be Friday, on Black Friday. Creighton, as the number 1 seed, they get the opening semi at 2:30 Central. Marquette will be playing in the 5 o'clock Central game, and the final is on FS2 on Saturday, a week from today.
Serve was a bit long from UConn, so the Cats get it back as we continue to go back and forth on the seesaw in this 3rd set. A must-win for the Wildcats.
To avoid UConn. That's where it's a must-win.
Harrell sends it away. Shades of the first set on that first pass up. And it's sent over from Workmeister. And that's going to be a kill for Kat Young. That's her 6th kill tonight. Like we said in that first set, UConn early struggling on the serve receive. They got a lot cleaner, much for their success, especially in that 25-19 second set victory. But that one right there looked like we saw the Huskies early on in the match.
I think the crowd might be a big factor on this late surge by Villanova.
Another not great serve receive. They still work at the Tilska, and Harrell keeps it alive. Free ball bumped over by Kat Young. Now they're in system. Kutlu sets it up for Tilska, who fires an absolute missile again to make it 19-18.
Hannah Tilska has such a big arm. When Ellen was telling us about her game yesterday during our chat, they knew she could score, but they worked on her complete game. Look at that smile. That says it all.
First-year player. She's a junior. Played a couple years at Navarro College. That's a junior college in Texas. And that serve goes a bit long, so the Cats are the first to 20 in this third set.
That's big when you see Emma Workmeister on the service line, and it works out for you if you're Nova.
2-point lead for Nova. Fezco serves. And that goes a bit long. Neither team having the service success they had last night. Villanova 10 aces, just 5 tonight. UConn 13 aces, 3 tonight. Huskies also 9 service errors, the 6 errors for Villanova on the service line.
But, Jake, I think both teams have served tough. They followed their normal scripts. It's been good serving we've seen.
In system, Jacobowski sets it up, and Uzino finishes it. That was McKinnon. McKinnon finishes it. That's her 6th kill tonight. Cats lead by 2.
Terrific pass from Villanova to set that play up. It's been such a good passing team, and Villanova's teams, as we've told you all year, have gotten better passing the last couple of years because you have outsides who can play all the rotations.
Ellery Gray sends it away. Right side, off the hands of Gray, and that's going to be a termination for the Huskies, who once again cut at the 1.
Lauren Wynn with her 10th kill. She had 14 kills against Nova the first time. So she's had some of her biggest matches of the year against the Wildcats.
Workmeister and Wynn both in double figures tonight. Lewis, how about that dig? In system, Workmeister off the hands of Fezco. They stay in system. To the right side, it's Young. Kutlu sets it again. Workmeister soft, and McKinnon able to get a paw on it. Lewis over. It's set up. Workmeister again. It's sent back. And it's alive again. Workmeister tries a 4th time on this rally.
Who wants it, Jake?
Fezco. Harrell in the back row pushes it over. To the right side. Roll shot blocked, and it's kept alive. Workmeister again. Ellery Gray keeps it alive. Here's Taylor Lewis, and that one stays up. Down the middle attack, and finally it's Panel who wins it. What a rally. And UConn comes away with it to tie us at 21.
They're flying around, aren't they? A few years ago when Villanova beat St. John's on senior day in that 3-2 thriller, there was a long point just like that Villanova won. When you score like that, win one of those battles, it gives you so much momentum. Everybody made plays there, from Fezco to Kutlu with one hand on one of her passes. McKenna Brand made some awesome digs during that last rally. That was cool to see.
Kutlu's got 34 assists, 10 digs. She's got a double-double. And that one is long from Kat Young, so UConn's on top. Josh Steinbach will take a timeout. We'll keep things right here. 22-21, UConn leads. And you just feel like after that long rally and then a miss hit there from Villanova, just an opportunity for Josh Steinbach amidst a 3-0 Huskies run to try and settle the troops down here in the third.
And to get some rest, because when you have those long rallies, you get a little tired. And it's already been a long season. You didn't have to work too hard last night because that was an easy match. Josh got to rest his regulars in case tonight was going to be a grind. That's why he did that. Well, after running around like that for anybody, I think we'd all need a timeout. So I think that's a physical timeout to get a drink of water and just sit down for a second.
UConn, look, if UConn wins this third set and sweeps Villanova, I don't think the 3-0 you're going to see on the score sheet is going to tell the full story of tonight's match. The second set, UConn pretty much handled pretty well. Villanova had a quick spurt late, But the first set and the third set were pretty neck and neck. And all I'm saying that if this is a preview of Wednesday night in Omaha, I think we might be in for a good set that hopefully goes a little bit more than 3 sets, too, for those avid volleyball fans out there.
It just shows you that you need to do all the fundamentals right. But something tells me if everybody does their job in terms of the passing and the serving, the big-ticket players in the postseason, like you see in the NCAA tournament for basketball, the big scorers, the big names, they tend to carry their teams because you week-to-week grind in the regular season, you depend on everybody to carry you, but the postseason is for the stars. I've always felt like that.
We'll see what stars shine bright here in the third set as Brand sends the serve away. Gray sets it up, roll shot over from Lewis. Brand, Workmeister. She's had a terrific night. Fezgo able to keep it alive along with Gray and Harrell a free ball. Kutlu, Workmeister. Yes, she does. Another one. Her 16th kill of the night. UConn closing in on a potential sweep, 2 points away.
Emma Workmeister continues to excel at the highest of levels.
Brand will serve again. 4-0 run for the Huskies. Trying to put this away. Not a great first pass up. It's back to Kat Young. It's blocked and it falls right at the V logo at midcourt. That's a huge, huge point for the Wildcats,
who have used softer roll shots like we talked about earlier in the telecast. It worked early in the first set. I'm surprised they haven't gone more to it tonight.
Kat Young will serve. Huge point. Kutlu in system from the right side, and it goes wide from Wynn. Ties us at 23.
And Doa Kutlu gave Lauren Wynn a perfect ball, and Lauren Wynn's had a great night, but she missed it by a couple inches.
So Villanova's responded to the 4-0 UConn run with a 2-0 flurry of its own. Kutlu has it in system. Down the middle swing from Maria. Now it's Harrell on the left side, and it drops in. Wynn got a hand on it, and it's match point for the Huskies.
Lauren Wynn and Taylor Pinnell continue to block at a very high level. It'll be a factor in Omaha next weekend. St. John's and UConn and DePaul are very talented. You feel like they can hang a little bit with Creighton and Marquette. You just wonder to see. Will we see an upset like we saw last year? St. John's made it to the final. St. John's won it all in 2019. Do we see the chalk with the big teams dominating? That's the likely scenario. Or does UConn or St. John's or Villanova crash the party, Jake? I think a lot of us are wondering now that they've gone to this 6-team format.
And, of course, it's looking increasingly likely we're going to see a rematch of this on Wednesday night. Of course, we'll see what happens with DePaul and Marquette tomorrow. But if Marquette does win that, there's a pretty good shot that it's going to be a rematch.
DePaul has 2 wins over UConn. That's why the tiebreakers work out a certain way. Villanova has 2 wins over Xavier to bump them out last night.
So yeah, if results hold here and UConn wins, they'll be 12-6. DePaul best can be 11-7. So it looks like if UConn wins this, we're almost guaranteed to have this matchup on Wednesday.
So for Villanova, it'll be their 26th Big East tournament, and it will be the 9th for Josh Steinbach.
Second in a row for the Wildcats. They have a late rally in them. UConn a point away from a sweep and a perfect weekend on the road. Huskies have won 8 straight sets, looking to make it 9 in a row right here. Isabella Sui will send it away, looking for the sweep. Gray sets it, Harrell swings it, and it's kept alive. Brand, Workmeister, it's blocked back, and we are tied at 24.
When you stave off a match point against a good team on senior night in front of your fans, that's one of the biggest points of the season.
It's been a terrific crowd inside Nevin Fieldhouse tonight.
And they haven't used Alyssa Nelson much. They're all awesome freshman setter, at least in this set. But now she's in.
8 assists tonight for Nelson. Jakubowski's got 14. Gray's got 5. Fezgo also has 4. Nelson sends it away, and it's going to go long for Alyssa Nelson, so it'll be another match point for UConn.
Now UConn's doing the jumping jacks as well.
The bench has been on fire tonight for the Huskies. Both benches, lots of energy.
They turned the heat on yesterday, as we were telling you, so you don't have to run around too much if you're riding the bench and you get too cold.
Well, who else to serve but Emma Workmeister? Looking to finish off the regular season strong for the Huskies and have them rolling into the Big East tournament. Workmeister to send it away. Fezco finds Harrell. It's blocked, and we are tied again.
How about Kat Young, number 9? Workmeister, center, a laser. She's had a marvelous rookie season, the outside from Dallas, because of passes like that keep you in system. That's why Josh recruited her. What a play there by Kat Young.
So now we'll go to the other setter, Taylor Jacobowski in the serve. Villanova spoiled 2 match points already. Can the Cats put themselves in a position to win the set? 25 all. Kutlu. Workmeister, that's Tilska, and she gets the kill on the left side. They switched it up a little bit. Usually it's Workmeister at that left pin. They went to Tilska, and Anna Tilska has her 7th kill tonight.
Tilska there in that rotation. Big time arm, and what a player they brought in.
Taylor Pannell. She's had a good night. 7 kills. 3rd chance for the match for UConn, but it goes long, and we're tied again.
The fans are on their feet here at Jake Nevin.
Might be one of the most raucous crowds we've had all year. Place is almost full. Abby Harrell now steps in the back line. Wildcats have spoiled 3 match points for the Huskies, 26 apiece. Not a great first pass up. Tilska swings, and she gets the back line, and it's going to be the 4th set point for the Huskies.
How about in crunch time? Hannah Tilska making plays, very successful at her previous school, and she's had a big season here in 24.
Doa Kutlu, the fantastic setter. Jacobowski to the right side. It's blocked. UConn sends it out, and Villanova spoils another match point. That's the 4th they've sent away.
Taylor Jacobowski gave a great ball to Rose Christ. You give your outsides good balls, tool the block, you roll the dice, and it worked.
Fezco will serve. They're in system. They set it up, right side, Workmeister, and now it'll be the 5th set point for UConn as Workmeister has her 17th kill.
That's Hannah Tilska again, Jake.
So 28-27.
So Tilska getting the feeds here. Now she doesn't play all the rotations, so they trade her out there and bring in Grace Maria.
So that was a 9th kill for Tilska. Grace Maria serves the 5th match point for UConn. Overpass, and that'll do it. Anna Herman finishes it with her 3rd kill tonight, and the Huskies win the 3rd set 29-27 and sweep out the Wildcats in the regular season finale from Jake Nevin Fieldhouse. It was a sweep, but boy, was that a fun match.
Last year, it was a 31-29 set they played on the final day of the regular season. And look, a year later, on the last day of the season, you see a long set, which was a lot of fun for the fans. This was a lot of fun for the announcers, for the viewers. Our whole crew ate it up, I'm sure. This was a real special day on campus, and good to see Villanova compete. This has been a fun season, Jake, and you know Villanova has a real bright future. And if you have to play UConn again, and it's looking like that'll be the case, you got to figure you got to start over. And every match has its own identity. And there's a good likely chance that Villanova responds and plays a lot better in a couple days.
I think the message from Josh Steinbach is going to be, don't worry about the 3-0. This was a lot closer than it's going to look on paper. But for UConn, they finished an incredibly impressive 2024 regular season with a 24-6 record, a 12-6 record in the conference. You take a look at some of our final stats on your screen. Nova finishes above 500 for the 2nd straight year at 16-13. They'll finish at 500 in the Big East for the first time in quite a bit, 9-9 overall. And Nick, just kind of any final thoughts on tonight or on the season for the Wildcats or Huskies?
UConn had 24 wins in that awesome 2021 season in the fall where they went to the final rounds of the NIVC and made the Big East tournament, had a great team with Kaylee Parker. Now a couple years later, they get 24 wins again. They're going to be in the Big East tournament, but Villanova will be there too. And a lot of people say, we said it last night, they don't think freshmen can win. Josh proved that otherwise. So you credit Coach Steinbach and this staff and Ellen and her staff for the bounce-back year. I would vote for one of these two staffs for Big East Coaching Staffs of the Year because they've really done a remarkable job. Again, nobody expects you to win with rookies, and UConn coming off a down season. They've had the turnaround. How could you not vote for these two?
A couple of the seniors kind of taking in their last moments here at Jake Nevin Fieldhouse. Elizabeth Fesco, one of them, a couple of moments ago, down on the floor, just embracing some of her teammates and coaches, and always obviously an emotional time when you step off the home floor for the last time. But for Villanova and for UConn, the season gets to go on, and it pretty much looks like it's going to be the Wildcats and the Huskies on Wednesday at 5 o'clock out in Omaha. That'll be on the Big East Digital Network that you can watch right here on Flow Sports. And, Nick, if tonight showed you anything, it's going to be a really, really fun one on Wednesday night to get the conference tournament started.
That's 5 o'clock Central Time, just to make sure, at DJ Sokol Arena. Go onto the Big East website to buy your tickets. And a lot of the Midwest kids, even if you lose, you go home for Thanksgiving and have fun with your family. So it's win-win. A lot of these players will get to spend time with their families next week. All of us will. And I'd just like to say this is our final fall broadcast of the season, and want to thank our great crew, our hardworking camera crew. Our producers are here all day long producing everything. Us announcers appreciate all the viewers watching. We all put in tons of work. And the coaches, they put in so much work to make this possible. They're watching tape up till late in the night. They're out there recruiting on the road. And all the players, it's normal to have tears. I've done a lot of senior day interviews with tears. It's okay to let your emotions fly for Liz Fesco and your veterans, because you'll remember this for the rest of your life.
Echo what Nick said. Huge thank you and shout out to our entire crew for, of course, all their help here in Jake Nevin Fieldhouse. So that'll do it tonight. Huskies sweep the Wildcats 3-0 tonight, 25-23, 25-19, and 29-27. Well, shout out to our entire crew. Great work tonight. On behalf of my broadcast partner, Nick Montagna, I'm Jake Starr, saying so long for the final time in the 2024 regular season from Jake Nevin Fieldhouse. Big East Tournament coming up next on Wednesday.